Welcome to Dr Joe Unplugged. This podcast contains general information and is not in any way medical advice. Happiness can be learned, but it may take practicing 7 habits. This is a story on MedPage today, and it causes you to do a little bit of a double take, because ultimately you would think happiness is a function of how we're going in life. If things are going well, it may make us happy. If it's a bright sunny day and the sky is blue, that has potential for us to be happy. If your family is in good health, that might make you happy. If you've had a good day at work, that might make you happy. So the idea of it needing to be learned, sounds a little bit odd. Equally, there's a lot of unhappiness in society, and there was a survey out, which I'll just go to now, and this will all be in the box below. Rising unhappiness amongst younger people has caused the United States and some large Western European countries, this story's on Medscape, to fall down a global wellbeing index while Nordic countries retain their grip on top spots. The annual World Happiness Report, launched in 2012 to support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, is based on data from Gallup. People in 143 countries are asked to evaluate their lives. So again, how people fill in these forms, who fill in these forms, look, there's all the normal limitations, but I suppose those limitations are always the same. Certainly mental health in young people is an ongoing issue, and I've been listening recently to podcasts featuring Abigail Schreier and Jonathan Haidt, both on Joe Rogan and also Honestly with Barry Weiss, and I'd certainly recommend those to people who are interested in podcasts, and they've looked at a whole lot of issues to do with unhappiness and mental health issues in young people. But to get back to the idea of happiness can be learned, years ago I came across laughter yoga. And people are actually going to classes, not to do sort of formal yoga as in like the movements, but actually learning to laugh, which again you would hope might come naturally, but in the modern world that isn't always the case. So the good news in this, and I'm going to read out the points, is that there's a lot of simple things that you can do to improve or increase your happiness. Now that doesn't mean every day is a good day, and that's the nature of the world. And in fact, listening particularly to Jonathan Haidt, he does make the point that having some bad days is important, and learning to deal with those and learning to deal with failure and some hardship and things not going our way and shock horror. Maybe I didn't win at my sport today, or I didn't get top of the class, so therefore, giving me an every child wins a prize ticket doesn't really make me happy. And it doesn't teach me how to deal with the fact that, not everything might go my way. But there are simple things that we can do to work on our happiness, if you like. So number one, performing acts of kindness. Fairly simple. I mean, that can be as easy as patting a dog, or saying good morning to somebody you meet on the street, or offering assistance to somebody. The age-old idea of helping an elderly person across the road. We've sort of lost a bit of that over the years. And look, there's all sorts of ways that you can be kind and offer assistance to people: a smile, a friendly word. Increasing social connections, including initiating conversations with people you don't know. Now, once again, we've all been a bit scared off this idea that everybody is a threat to us. In fact, they're not. Crime statistics do show that in the main there is a decline, and again, that's not everywhere and in all circumstances, and one has to use one's judgment. But look, you can be standing in a queue to get a cup of coffee. You could be standing at a bus stop. There's or at a supermarket queue where, it's potential to strike up a conversation. And the beginning of it can be where, we're all in the same boat here. So you've got some commonality to start with. Savouring one's experiences, and it doesn't have to be major. It's a sunny day today. Well, that's really nice. That's pleasant. We've got some blue sky. We can enjoy that and focus on being in the now, which is where some of this actually goes to. Deliberately drawing our attention to positive events or aspects of the day. So every day, some things will go well, some things won't go well. It is up to us to choose and decide what to focus on. Now, we tend to focus on the negative, and there's a view that that's been a bit of a survivalist trait, that if you look for dangers and focus on what's perceived to be a danger, again, something bad happening is not a danger, but it comes out of that, you're probably less likely to get eaten by the predator. but focusing on the good. And there's always going to be something good. There's always going to be something good. For example, that you're still breathing, that you may have family, you may have friends, that you may have a job, you may have a roof over your house, you may have something to eat. Little things we can appreciate. Practicing feeling grateful and endeavouring to thank people they've never sufficiently thanked as they would like to. So that could be, your parents. It could be your workmates. It could be, again, people who've helped you across the journey. So again, and gratitude can also be just reflecting on it. So you can talk to people, or you can just reflect on it and say, look, I'm grateful, for what my parents did. They might not have done everything perfectly. Nobody does. But I'm grateful for what they've done. Or again, for some of the teachers you might have had along the line. Being physically active, and again, something we've touched on and previously, and we will no doubt, again, the importance of that is very, very good for our mental health. It reduces stress. It gets us also, hopefully, out into the open air, although going to the gym is fine as well. Exploring mindfulness and other meditation techniques. And mindfulness is essentially focusing on one thing at a time. So it's not being maybe quite so much on social media, maybe getting off our phones for a while. Meditation techniques can be as simple as slow, deep breathing. You don't need to go to a cave. You don't need to put on special clothes. You don't need special equipment. You can use apps, so winding it back to the phone, we're not looking at the screens, but we can have our headphones on and listen to a guided meditation, or we can just sit somewhere quietly, close our eyes and do slow, deep breathing. Now, none of this costs any money. It's all, we all have the capacity to do this. You don't need any special training. You don't need 3 degrees. You don't need a government program. You don't need some university professor telling you how to live your life. It's all steps that each and every one of us can do. We just need to put our minds to it and change the focus. And the focus can be changed one day at a time. It's not saying that if you do this tomorrow, if you're having a bad day today or you've got problems in your life, that it makes them all go away. No, it's not saying that. But it is saying that we can look to shift our focus, and we can make our lives better, and we can feel happier in ourselves by adopting some fairly simple principles. And look, the link will be down below. So if you haven't remembered them all, obviously you can replay this, or go to the website and see them listed there. Thanks for listening to Dr. Joe Unplugged. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, like, and share. You can also follow it on all the socials. There'll be new content uploaded each week.